Lovely.
On our fork.
Do you know, it's
Tell me.
if it had like ham in it, it's closer.
No.
It's closer to a British carbonara.
Oh no.
It is. No, that's true.
Oh well, that's fine. I'm glad you're standing
Do
there.
you agree?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. You know what? You know. You know what? You know, it doesn't make any sense what you said. It's a different recipe. It's got nothing to do with macaroni cheese. You know what? How random is what? Can please anybody help me here in the kitchen?
Oh my God! He choked. Oh man!
Stop it.
Oh dear. Well, very good. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. There we
you
are.
can put the ham at home if you want.
Still going, Rob.
Still very loud in my ear. Have you seen this before? I've got another one. Can you handle another one?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay.
Start the show off with a little bit of frivolity before we settle into the...
What about the opposition leader, Tony Abbott?
What happened? Oh, it's an ad.
Ad break.
Powerball.
Unbelievable.
To 260.
What a way
You
to
can't
start
pause
it.
it.
Can't pause it. What do you mean? I have to wait for it to play.
You love Carl, don't you?
He's hilarious.
So he's saying that was Tony Abbott. That's just Grumpy Cat, isn't it?
It's like Jabba the Hutt. Just sort of scale.
Oh, what did you think, Bancroft? How was that? Those intro clips? Out of
Yeah,
10.
you know, you can download them and upload them so you don't have to deal with YouTube.
Yeah, but like, I'm probably not going to use them again. It's only a one-time thing.
I do that all the time.
Mm.
Professional outfit over here.
Let's say hi to chat. Oliver 656, how you doing? B Rose, how are you, B Rose? He's putting some links in here. Chaos, back Undead Borders, Escape or Die. I remember trying to back that, and it closed the day before I went to back it. So I can
actually give you a copy, Rob. I got 2.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you want to do that? I mean, you just cost the 656 guys a potential sale, Bancroft.
Oh, sorry, I can't do that.
NTM
There's
Comics
no possible way.
telling me I spelt fulfill wrong. Jason Black is agreeing that I did.
Surely in New Zealand you spell it with 1 L as well. Did you spell 1 L or 2?
1 L, yeah. Fulfill, I think we've all had our fill of this full. Yes, thanks, Mo. Scrolling down. It's been a long time since I expected anything smart to come from these streams, NTM Comics. Well, that's accurate. Very accurate. Shaggy Bear. Good to see you, Shaggy Bear. Woof, 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 woof. Scrolling down. This is where I tell our American friends that fulfill is the spelling commonly used in English-speaking countries like the UK and Australia. And they responded, Australia doesn't exist and we beat England, so they don't count. That's fair enough.
Well, this is daylight. And I know it's getting to be evening out here at the moment. So this is for everyone out there who says Australia doesn't exist. You're probably up there in the Northern Hemisphere in America where it's dark. Here's proof.
Wow.
I thought of that earlier too.
USA.
I've been sitting on that for 40 minutes.
That's concerning because
I bring my A game to this channel, to this show.
You say that, you know, to be a good streamer, you just got to say what's in your head, right? But you had 40 minutes to think about that, and you still decided to say it.
Yeah, wow.
Crazy. USA. It just keeps going. Happy EIP 559 day, everyone. Scrolling down, the guys are chatting up a storm. Jose Garcia launching a book, Bancroft. What's it called? Black Tiger?
I believe
Tiger
so.
Black?
Yeah.
Tiger Black?
Something
Richard
about
B.
black. What's a black going on lately?
Aren't we supposed to chant Aussie, Aussie, Aussie? Yes, we are.
I taught that to my son last night, and I was very proud when he nailed it.
Did he?
We were watching an Australian rock climber.
Oh, yes. That's pretty cool that that's an Olympic sport now. My wife
Mm.
was telling me. I'm like, that's pretty sweet.
My kids are rock climbing right now.
Are they?
And Victoria said, when I'm an Olympic rock climber, it's like, she's
Dude.
getting a bit ahead of herself.
She has a chance, though. She's no joke.
She does, yeah. She climbs the speed wall in under 10 seconds.
So what's her deal? Is she just incredibly agile, or does she have freak strength?
She was born with abs as a baby. Like, she came out and there were abs, defined abs on her stomach. So yeah, I think she definitely doesn't get that from me. I'm one of those guys, if I ever tried to get ripped, I just end up looking like a rugby player with a massive neck. So she gets that from her grandfather on Mel's father's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mel gets quite muscular too when she starts working out.
Muscular women, huh? That's interesting. Rob is gatekeeping me. Didn't even send me the link. You didn't send me the link earlier, Skip. Dave Brink's in the house. Antoine, it was good to see you on Bancrofts. There was actually someone enjoyable to watch during that stream. God damn, Bancroft. John's here. Beampad. What's going on? Aerith Saga. Baby adds forehead. What do you bring to this relationship, Bancroft?
What do you mean? My marriage?
Well, the kids that you've created.
Yeah.
Mel's brought the whole French German thing and the abs. What have you brought?
My gargantuan brain.
Okay. Tiger Blue. Well, close. Not too far off. Rob skipped the best part. I always do. David feeds here. GK1. I think that's everyone. So what are we talking about today, Bancroft?
Fulfillment, I believe. We're going to do a do-over of my stream.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm doing fulfillment stuff right now.
Yeah, I know. You never pay
in the
attention
background.
to these streams when you're on.
I have limited
Chat.
time.
Let us know if you have any questions or any topics. We'll get to them. Imagine if Bancroft had a neck as long as his forehead. He'd be mistaken for a giraffe.
Not your best, Mo. And I don't know what you're saying about I gate-kept your roast of Antoine. I think I pulled up almost all of your comments. If any slipped by me, it was purely accidental.
You could say like the joke went over your head, but that would be a lie.
It hit me in the forehead.
Shaggy Bear, what's with this woof 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 thing? You have to tell us.
Gareth says the stream is about him getting his book.
I hope Mel signs both of his copies. Yeah, have you had any requests for Mel to sign the books?
2, I think. I can't
Really?
remember who they were. Is it Black? Is it B Rose? Might be B Rose. I don't know. Maybe I borrow ideas. I can't remember, but she remembers. She remembers these things.
Can you ask her to sign my copy?
No, too late.
Oh, mine's in the mail, isn't it? How many comics got destroyed during signing?
2.
That's pretty good.
The Chrome Pen. The Chrome Pen has a flaw. It's a fatal design flaw.
What is it?
That when you use it for a while, some ink, is it ink? The chrome, the metal, the liquid metal kind of seeps out and starts gathering around the base of the nib. And if you let it sit for too long, I didn't even know what it was because it's the same color as the nib. So I thought it was just part of the nib. It's not. It's kind of this stuff collecting. It dropped down and just went a big blob right onto the book there. So yeah, pour a drink out for those 2 books. But there were other damaged copies anyway. So
did you miss sign any books like Von Klaus did with Von Kingdom?
No, nothing like that. Some signatures, I will admit, are not as good as others, but nothing like completely off the wall. And when I do a good signature, I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I wish I could do it like that every single time. But most of them are well within in the range.
GK1, I have a question. 2 trains are leaving the station, one going northeast at 67 miles per hour, the other going southwest at 82 miles per hour. When is Replicator arriving? That's a great question.
Never. He's scared of trains.
Scared of trains? I did, Bancroft, when I was a kid, like a teenager, I did get on one of those trains that you're not meant to go on. Like, that they've got no passengers and they're like, don't board this train.
Oh, yeah.
I got on one of those. I couldn't get off it for like 10, 15 stops. I had to like force the door open. I don't know, like 13. Like,
oh, man, you would have been terrified. Where'd you end up?
That was near the city. My mum killed me when I got home because it was before mobile phones. She murdered me. The answer to that is we're working on it, and when it's ready. This is the latest page by Bancroft. It's beautiful. Just look at this. Look at this beautiful coloring.
Got some there's orange highlights coming off the flames. There's the red highlights bouncing off the sword and the streak of the sword. And then there's also blue highlights, which is Corey's original. He had them in there as well. And I thought they really help frame the characters and show direction and that sort of stuff.
Mate, it's great. It's fantastic. I like this dude right here with that the orange highlight on him. It looks sick. Looks really good.
Yeah, and as well, I learned that if you want to zoom in there, on his the metal on his arms, if you just put a rim light that kind of runs across his grooves, it really brings out the the metallic I guess smoothness of that surface. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool doing this stuff.
Yeah, it looks dope. It looks really good. So yeah, I mean, I wish we could say it's going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be done when it's done. We are working on it. It's all about putting out the best quality that we can do. So it's just going to take a little bit of time, unfortunately. But I'm really happy with the direction it's going in. I think it looks amazing.
This is page 9 out of 30, I think. And I'm about halfway through page 10. And on top, since I came on board, I've had a lot of things happen with, reprints and stuff that have been fixed. A whole bunch of stuff has sort of come into it. But, Rob knew that when, he knew my situation when I came on board. But I'm feeling it as well, and I want to get this done as soon as possible too, for me, because I've got Lucent 2 to think about. So it's in everyone's best interest that this gets finished ASAP. Greetings from Cairns.
I know, that's cool, right? I like the name too, Graveyard Shift. You're not, are you?
I'm from Cairns. Well, when I say I wasn't born there, I was born in Brisbane, and then we moved to Mackay for I think the first 6 months of my life, and then after Mackay, I moved to Cairns, and I was in Cairns till I was about 6 years old. That's all my earliest memories are from Cairns.
It's a good story. Almost
it's hot up there. It's
Train
hot, but
story.
it's very tropical. It's a complete opposite to Melbourne.
All right. Well, let's get into a couple of topics I've got. Let's have a look here. The first one is does a rising how does that saying go, Bancroft, about the ships and the rising tide?
A rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, I've gotten more backers lately. You've gotten more backers lately.
Mhm.
I'm sure other people are feeling the same way. And the only thing I can really point to is the toys that Ethan's launched and Godlike. What do you think? Does it lift all the campaigns around it?
Yes, I definitely think so. I think it's just it's not specifically related to crowdfunding or Comicsgate or anything. I think it's just when there's a buzz around, people want to get involved, and I think there's just more people around and more people backing books, and there's definitely a buzz. We had a massive week this week or last week or whatever happened with the funding of the toy campaign, and then the massive that launch is pretty monumental.
That was ridiculous.
I would
dude.
not have predicted that. I would have probably said 60. But and Malin had no idea. He'd said that plenty of times. He'd said that to me. He didn't know. It could do $5,000. I knew it wasn't going to do 5,000, but I think that was way above and beyond what even he expected. So yeah, it's just that it's the vibe, and I have absolutely seen it with my campaign. It feels like, it was literally a month ago that we were celebrating the 800 backers, and then it ticks up here and there, but towards the last couple of weeks, it's been going great. So and on top of that, Nefarious from Global Frequencies launched Mavericks. That did really well. People are gearing up for Arc Athena. There's another big one that launched. Vampire. The Vampire one.
Billy
Vampire
Tucci
Hunter,
as well.
Jack the Ripper. Billy Tucci. Yeah, there's just so many good things happening. That and on top of that, people are fulfilling as well. So I think a lot of people are just feeling really positive about what's going on here, and it's a funny flip. It's funny other side of the coin to what's going on in the mainstream, where it's becoming such a joke, and now people are legitimately worried that some of the bigger companies will just go down, or just completely change how they're doing things. So to answer your question in a really long rambling way, yes, I do think a rising tide has lifted our little ships up in the bay.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was talking to you about this the other week, about times that you should be promoting, and you're definitely in one right now with fulfillment. I think that's probably one of the best times to promote outside of the campaign, that is, because people see it and they want to get on board. And as you said, you've put away heaps of backers in the last month. Like, do you know how many you've added?
Well, I checked when we were celebrating 800 backers was about a month ago.
That's crazy.
So it's 104 in a month or something. Maybe a month and a half, but it's nuts. This campaign feels really old now, because it is. It says the campaign period ended in June 2020. So I've made everyone wait a really long time, not intentionally. So the fact that it's still getting backers is really encouraging, and I feel blessed.
Can someone in chat chuck the link to Era Saga in for us? That'd be awesome. Actually, I can probably do it myself. That's really cool, man. You're nearly at double the amount of backers that you had during the campaign, which I think is really cool. I can chuck this in myself. Bam. Yeah, which is amazing. Here's a question for you, and for the chat as well. There's a couple of questions here, but let's just kick one off. And I forget which one I was going to ask first. How often do you think, as a creator and like as a backer yourself, you need to release a book? Like, I'm kind of the opinion that one book a year is not enough, and I don't know what you guys in chat think.
In my situation, I mean, one book a year would be the absolute maximum that I could do. I mean, we've already seen, you know, I wasn't even able to do that in this case. So, I mean, for me, it's not. It's an interesting hypothetical, but you know, one a year is, you know, assuming I'm drawing it. That's it. That's it. But I think, you know, ultimately, you know, 2 would be nice. 2 would be great. I think a bigger question might be, you know, how many is too much? But that's probably only going to be relevant to a handful.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I think, you know, one. I like I said, I mean, I've always come at this from a kind of a European perspective, you know, like what the French do, and a lot of those guys are doing one a year, you know, like 150-page album thing.
What do you guys think in chat? Like, is one a year enough? Is that, if you're a fan of the book, like, does that keep you interested enough? Depends on the size of the book. Yeah, let's just talk standard 48-page and use that as a basis, Antoine. Is one 48-page book a year enough for people if they like it? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Depends on the IP. Let's assume you love the IP. Let's assume it's your favorite IP. Is that going to be enough for you? One 48-page book a year?
If my second book does well, that would tell me that people liked the first one, you know, and then that would give me a lot more confidence to, you know, because I have other stories that I can farm out to people, do, you know, single one shots and stuff, and have them as sort of mid campaigns. That was always my goal, but, you know, I'm not there yet, you know, with my professional life or whatever. You know, so I would do my book once a year, and then I'd have a team put out a book in the middle of that. But, you know, I'm finding out now that, you know, this fulfillment business, this printing business, all of it is a massive time commitment.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And way bigger than I ever expected it would be. And I've done, you know, Etsy shops before where I've, you know, I think I did 3,500 orders, sold 3,500 orders through my Etsy shop. So I know what it's like to be sending stuff out a lot. But this is on a whole nother scale. So, yeah, unless you're, you know, full time just doing comics and focused on that, I don't even see how you'd be able to do more than 2 a year, just logistically, without a team.
Well, in your case, you'd need to hire out. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, you'd have to. I don't know about what. Okay, let's stay on this for a second. So, let's assume in chat, right? You love the Lucent. It's fantastic. It's everything you wanted it to be and more. Are you happy to wait a whole nother year to get the next version of it? Let me know, because that's interesting to me. I think the minimum would have to be one a year, Bancroft. You'd agree with that, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to actually have any hope of retaining readers, yeah, that would be the minimum. And that's a scary thing, because that's for me, that means I would have to really make some big life changes. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, building my audience, and then I'll do a big kind of relook at my life situation depending on how the second book does. Because I've seen we've obviously seen people who've really taken off after their first book, and they've had a big success. And then I've also seen people who the second book didn't perform as well, or is at least not as well as anticipated. So that's you got to be realistic with this stuff. You don't want to make any massive life decisions based on speculation.
Yeah, and to get rid of your job to do comics you'd have to be so incredibly successful, like in the
that's not even
hundreds
on the cards right now.
In the
That's
hundreds
sort
of thousands type
Yeah.
success.
Basically, if in my situation, Mel would have to go back and do full-time work.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's going to happen right now.
Skip says one a year is enough. I like backing other creators.
Mm-hmm. I feel exactly the same way. There's more than enough to keep you occupied while you wait.
If the book is written by the likes of Rob, that's probably more than enough. I back enough projects that I don't mind one per year. I'm never left without. 2 per year max. That's good, dude, because I was thinking that one a year was not enough. And maybe it's not enough for me because I'm not doing 48 pages. I'm doing 32. So that's a different ball game. But that's good to know. Antoine says, if I was a full-time creator, I would shoot for 100 pages of art per year. That could translate into 1 or 2 books annually. It's very important to retain reader interest. That's the biggest concern I have, Antoine, that there's just such a big gap in releasing these books that people are going to lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a serious concern. By IP meant the way the book is structured story-wise. I feel like the Replicator not having backed it yet should be 2 to 3 books a year, while the Lucent feels like an annual. Yeah, I can see that too. Even Ethan says he needs to have an editor to handle stuff. If creators have a bi-yearly series, does that mean they should tone down on the stretch goals?
Bancroft? If the stretch goals impede on the speed, yeah, but a lot of stretch goals don't. Adding a spot gloss or a embossed thing or a bookmark, isn't going to really do it. But if you're adding content or pages and stuff like that, then yeah, you're going to really want to think about that.
If you're going once a year, that book better be bigger than 48 pages. Yeah, and when I hear 48 pages, I think 48 pages of story, right? And if you increase that to 60 pages or 80 pages, like I'm thinking that's story, not character sketches or additional art or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking story too.
Yeah. I'd like 1 per year, including the campaign. John says, if Mel goes back to full-time, who's going to fulfill the Lucent?
I've been doing the lion's share fulfillment, but we're just starting, and I'm just sort of figuring it out at the moment. So I'm taking it I'm just, entering into the waters kind of tentatively. We went down to the post office today with just, I think, about 10 packages just to kind of see what happened.
Why did you do that? Why didn't you get them to pick them up?
Well, because we had them there, and I think the pickup you have to, call up and they'll come in a couple of days or something. And I wanted to get something out. And, just I wanted to see what it's like to go take them down to the post office as well.
Did they look at you like, oh, why does he have this fucking many packages?
Yeah, and I did.
Mhm.
And I could just tell, the woman had never seen those labels before because they're special business labels. So most people don't come to the post office with that. So yeah, we're getting into it, but Mel will be picking up the slack very quickly.
Mo Biggs, if the Lucent came out annually, it would still be a bi-yearly series, if you know what I mean.
Emphasis on buy, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Rob, as you're just a writer, I would like to see several books from you per year, 2 or 3 series with 2 issues each. That's interesting, and it takes me into my next point, which is how many campaigns do you think is the right amount, Bancroft,
Per
for
year?
a creator? What's the max?
It probably depends on the size of your audience. So if you've got a couple of hundred people, I would stick to 2. Maybe if you've got 1,000, maybe 3. If you're up into the thousands, 4. But when you start getting above that, you really want to have a lot of people in your chat, in your audience, sorry. And because fatigue is a real thing, and especially if you're that big, you're going to be probably pretty well loved. You're going to have people who are going to be wanting to back everything you put out. But a lot of these campaigns as well have really expensive things on it that you want, and if it's coming out every second month, sometimes it takes a couple of months to save up for some of these items. So I would say 4 would probably be optimum. But yeah, that's sort of, I don't know. I guess it also depends on what kind of campaigns they are. But I'd say for most people, 2 to 3 maximum. What do you think? I don't know. Could be talking out of arse.
I mean, I have rules like myself that I make for myself. I wouldn't back someone more than 4 times a year, regardless of who they are. But I mean, I think 2 would be ideal. But I mean, if people are going to buy it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I suppose not. I'm thinking more of like what might be optimal for them and their audience. But if the audience is willing and ready and want to do it and they're demanding it. I mean, let's talk Ethan, for example. He just launched, Ethan copped some flack for launching the toy campaign while Wreck Planet was still unfulfilled. And now he's launching another one. So Ethan's trying to have the kind of as close as you can to a real company that crowdfunds as I think anyone has ever gotten. So, and we always say don't use Ethan as an example because he's in his own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as someone who myself in that show where we said, who would you always want to back? Ethan was my number 1, and it's tricky. It's hard because I haven't even been able to get the toys yet. So thankfully he does keep them in. He does keep them in demand a long time, but I also like to be, I kind of feel like I am missing out a little bit on some of the energy and the excitement because I have to put off backing things, but that's just me. I mean, I have to get over that, I suppose.
I kind of find that like if someone's launching lots of campaigns, I find it hard to keep track of what they're actually launching because I don't pay that much attention.
Yeah, unless you're in the streams all the time.
Yeah,
totally. But I mean, that's like if you're a big company, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a big, wide range of offerings.
Yeah.
And that's where maybe a website. And I know he does eBay, but I think more like a website where you can go and actually see what's on offer. And I know that a couple of guys have done that really quite well.
Devil's Fish says Ethan is stealing your share of my share of the pot. The Reddit Silver member says Rob convinced me to back what? Let me know. Brian Pulido has a very aggressive release schedule for his different IPs. Yeah, he just
This
grows
might be
and
another one
grows.
that's kind of out at the the top.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when your audience gets so big, they can kind of handle it. Whereas, if you're trying to pummel 400 people once every 2 months for a whole new big thing, yeah, I would worry that you might start to cross into the territory of milking them and treating them like a cash cow.
I think that's my concern when I think about it. Like, I don't want to take the backers for granted, right? If they're happy to back, once or twice my books a year, that'd be fantastic. But if I start asking them to back 4 times or more, it's just too much, I think.
Well, and on top of all this is assuming that the creator can actually do this, can actually pull it off. So we saw what happened with your boy Zach. That was a big controversy that kind of almost blew up in his face, and maybe did for a lot of people. And so every new campaign you do, you're just adding more and more complications. And I can't even fathom it at the moment. Maybe in a few years, once I can figure this stuff out better, I can begin to start fathoming it. But at the moment, I completely 100% understand the guys who are like, no, I want my campaign done, fulfilled before I even think about promoting my next one.
Yeah, because it's like kind of like a weight on your shoulders that it takes a little bit of the.
In a perfect world,
stress.
you could just say, I've got 45 minutes before I need to do something. I'll just sit down and write a bit of my story, or I'll just sit down and do a bit of coloring. It doesn't work like that.
Nah.
We're human beings. We can't just turn ourselves on and off like a robot. Like, I can't, if I've got only 30 minutes, even if I know the job might only take 30 minutes, I can't just, okay, I'm going to sit down now, even though I was doing something else, I could do something else, and slot it in like that when I'm trying to be creative. For me, it doesn't work like that. So, you're trying to do something, but I've got to ring this guy because this screwed up, and that, and then I'm going to go source some things, and there's so much to juggle. That
I find that especially with writing, and I don't know if you write, if you just like storyboard or whatever, but if I've got half an hour and there's a chance I'm going to be interrupted, there's no point even starting the process.
Exactly. I'm exactly the same.
It's going to get messed up.
I need to get in the zone,
and
then once you're in the zone, you don't want to be.
And you need to think about like you need it to percolate a bit as well. Like it needs to, run over the cogs a few times. You're not often just the writer; you're also the one doing the business end, promotion, paying out of pocket to get books made before campaigns. Doing more than 2 books a year takes a lot. It would be a huge ask. Managing 2 different teams and then assuming all the people in those teams are doing what they need to do on time is a big ask. What if it's 1 or 2 campaigns, but then other content on your website? There are a lot of buyers outside of crowdfunding. That's how we sold out Tape 1. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you've got just content for sale on a site, that's a completely different kettle of fish. And obviously, it's still, you still need to handle fulfillment and stuff. But unless you're selling like hotcakes, it should be pretty manageable. I think that's a pretty good idea. And I've seen you've done that. John Hervey does that. I think Clint Stoker does it, maybe. Well, I know that the guys from Iconic, is it called Iconic? Doug Ernst and Tim Lim and the Long Harbor guy doing that exclusively. So I think that'll probably be one of the next big things that gets added to what we're doing here, is having our own sites where we sell stuff.
Yeah. Do you think we need like a central site? Do you think that would be beneficial?
It would only be but because obviously people have tried.
Yeah.
It would only be beneficial if the person doing it can really nails the promotion, because that's what they're offering. In the job that my day job, we've dealt with plenty of these other sites that want to sell your stuff, and that's all fine and good. But really what they have to be offering more than anything is they're going to be doing all the marketing. So they're the ones who are really going to be pushing this site out as this is the one's kind of source of truth for all of your all of these books and everything. So I haven't seen anyone really nail that yet. But there's been certain sites that do one thing or another. I don't think it's necessary, and there's things that can happen that can go wrong. We've seen that with IndieCron, with who's allowed on the site and blah blah blah, and tribalism sets in.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Maybe that was before your time. IndieCron started out, I think, as a CG only website that promoted CG books, but then CG kind of fractured a little bit between Doug TeNapel or guys like what's his face, Vox Day, and then that annoyed some people who were already on there. They demanded to come off, and it was a whole big hullabaloo. And anyone who's done any promoting in this space understands implicitly the kind of political machinations that happen in back rooms and DM groups and everything, because people are tribal and people get in beefs with other people, and so that would be a pretty big thing you'd have to figure out if you were ever going to try and just make one big website and have it called Comicsgate and have it be understood that it is Comicsgate.
Aerith handles 200 to 300 parcels a day himself at his job. It's interesting. Everything takes time to mature. Comicsgate.org seems to be well liked.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And Creator Go seems to do well.
Clint should get the license for the late 90s game Zoop and then fund it on Zoop. That would
I've
be
not
great.
heard of that one.
Do you think the majority of creators are going to have to go to newsprint at some stage?
No, I don't know why.
The
is
reader base?
newsprint that much more expensive? Cheaper, sorry. Is it like super cheap to print on newsprint? I don't think it is.
I'd assume so, because Pete sells it for really.
Pete sells it because he prints in big numbers. At a certain level. I don't know if individually you and I could just go to newsprint and it would be that economically viable that we'd be able to start selling $5 floppies. I'm doubtful, that we'd be able to, let's print out 500, floppies on newsprint and just sell them, and that'll be our cheaper version. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I do like the idea of the premium first and then the cheaper version later down the road. I do really think that model has legs.
It can be much cheaper, but not all printers do it, says Ryan. Ultraman Schnelly says, I want to know how John Malin can offer such cheap shipping.
I know the answer to that.
Do you?
Yeah.
John
offsets his international shipping prices by charging a flat rate to his domestics. So you pay a little bit more if you're domestic, and that offsets it for the international. I think a lot of people do that. But other people don't. Like, other people keep that domestic at like sort of what it costs, and then the internationals just have to eat, whatever it is. We've seen some, $30, $35 on some of them.
Do you have an interest in going to Alterna?
Oh yeah, I would love to go to Alterna. I don't think it would work for my comic, but I don't know. I mean, that would be so long down the line as well. I'd need to probably have a whole bunch of volumes of my main book out before I could do that. But as well, the coloring that I did with the book, I don't think it would print on newsprint. I'd have to do something pretty drastic to it to get it to work. Like, you really a book like Only Death Can Save Us. Now that would work perfectly on newsprint.
Everyone's obsessed with that book.
It's great. Russ is great. It's a great book.
You know what I'm curious about? When did we start getting all these shit movies and comics that started, preaching this and that to us? Like, we had good movies in the 80s.
Mm.
When did it all fall apart?
I know with the comics, it started in about 2010.
So not that long ago.
No. For the movies, like, there were TV shows. Like, I'm watching Boston Legal right now, and that show does a lot of what today you might look at as sort of like left-wing preaching, but it was balanced. So even someone who's really conservative can watch it, and because they have both sides talking. So it works. Star Trek would do the same thing. They would talk political topics, but make it more about values, keep it more vague and less partisan. TV shows from now, I mean, they're so preachy. They lecture you. They tell you you're bad for thinking this way, and they don't care. That's so weird. Like, they don't care that they could potentially be telling a fan of the show that whoever's writing this thinks you're like a bad person or something. I think that show came out in the early 2010s, or what I'm up to is the early 2010s or the late 2000s. But everyone seems to be saying, yeah, it started somewhere around that time. I can remember listening to a Sargon and V video about the Mockingbird comic book controversy, which was Mockingbird wearing it. Asked me about my feminist agenda thing. That had to have been early 2010s. So yeah, I think it's been going on for about a decade.
2014, 2015, 2011. Was it 2007, 2008? Camel says it started with Scott Pilgrim in 2013.
People love that movie, and I love all the stuff that they're trying to reference, but I cannot stand that movie. I tried to watch it. I can't do it.
Richard B., after 9/11, they started making movies about how the events made the character feel and change instead of the character staying true to characterization and solving the problem. Yeah, apparently they fixed Apple. That's disappointing.
People shouldn't have said anything, and they would have gone to print with it.
That's insulting. Did Robocopter draw this cover?
Everyone is shitting on this art on this. Look,
It's shithouse.
yeah, but it's not comic book. It's not traditional comic book art, obviously. But if it's like an indie variant or whatever, this looks to me like a kid's book kind of illustration.
I,
But
I don't even care. Like, I don't care what kind of art they're going for. Like, this is an indie book, Mike. This is Replicator is an indie creative.
yeah, I know.
book.
You know what I'm
Look
saying.
at this. Look
Yeah.
at the difference.
I know. I know that.
Mate.
But yeah.
It's
They're
absolutely
trying to
insane.
go for a different market.
Shit market.
trying to
No
play
one
devil's
likes this
advocate
shit.
here.
Look at this. Like, no joke. I don't draw. I mean, I can draw a little bit. I could draw something better than this.
I would like to see that.
You have seen it.
I can see right here how it was done too. It looks like it was done in Illustrator with Illustrator brushes, because I recognize that style. It's like a paint brush in Illustrator. So this art right here, this would take me 20 to 30 minutes.
10 minutes?
No. It would take a little bit longer than that to get it right.
It just blows my mind, man, that they think that I don't care who they're trying to target. No one likes this.
It's the postmodern sort of, anything can be art. It doesn't matter about skill or time or effort.
Oh my gosh.
That sort of thing. That's why they do it. They're thumbing their nose at you.
Bancroft. Do it now. Who can draw a better April? Do you want to do it?
No. I'm doing fulfillment now. More important.
Generally, I don't have a problem with the art on that April O'Neil cover. It's targeted towards tween girls at the Replicator. Less than 10 minutes on Procreate. Drawing competition between Michael and Rob. I would smash him. That's why he's afraid. He won't do it. I would take him down to the river and drown him. He's not ready for what I can bring to the table.
Oh my god, you were drowning in the river.
April O'Neil is the name of a porn star. The new Turtles has thrown over the 4 turtles for an all-new female characters, including a new trans turtle and a DBZ Trunks rip-off female turtle from the future. Oh my god, really? That's crazy. Oh. Yeah. I can be. It's a best of issue. Oh my gosh. It just makes it worse and worse. I don't know, man. Like, I get this might be for tween-age girls. And, I was not a teenage girl. I was a teenage boy. And I like Judge Dredd. And that had sick art and violence. I mean, this looks like a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire, Bancroft.
I've seen worse coming out of, I don't know, is IDW mainstream?
Yeah,
they
I'd
kind of
say
come
so.
off like they're not, but they've been pretty big. Of course, Camel wants us to talk about Chris Chan.
Is that the person that did naughty things?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You could put any art pretty much in CG up against this and it would win. That's just sad. I don't care. Bancroft bet Rob who could get the worst haircut in CG. Rob slayed him. Damn straight. 2000
Did get a
AD
Forrest Gump cut.
has gone woke. I like Judge Dredd too. Antoine has got such good taste. Ron Smith and Brian Bolland's work on that book changed my life. Bolland's work on that changed my life. They have covers with Funko Pops Where did that? What?
Oh,
It can get worse. Oh my god! I gotta look this up.
hang on. Devilfish's comment looks like 40-year-old Irene from Home and Away. My God, it does. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, bring it up.
because people don't know who Irene is. I can't believe I remember. Yes. Oh my God, it does. Which one do I pick? This one. This is a spitting image. Hold on a sec. Oh, well spotted, Devilfish. Well spotted.
Oh,
I've got it there backstage, Rob.
Kit. Oh no, Aerith has got. Okay, hang on. Let me bring them both up. Can I bring them both up at the same time?
I don't think so.
Where's it gone?
We all know what it looks like.
We don't need to see it quickly. Yeah, we need to see it quickly. All right. Here's Arpul O'Neill. Come on. Here is Irene from Home and Away.
She's even in yellow.
Arpul
perfect.
O'Neill. Irene from Home and Away.
Hang on. Why is it so slow? It keeps coming back to this.
Oh. Arpul O'Neill. Irene from Home and Away.
She is so ochre too when she talks. She's like, yeah, how you going? Like that.
Does
How you
she?
going, turtles? Going down to the sewer again? Going to go fight Shredder. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just going to be here doing me journalism, you know?
I don't know if this is the cover, but it's a print with Funko Pops on it. So that's something.
Oh, God.
Bancroft is scrolling through redheaded women right now.
No. This is Irene. She's been on the show for forever. So it was when she was younger.
Antoine
she
says
was
there's an
Arpul
image
O'Neill.
where she has the same hairstyle.
I'm looking for that. I can't find it. Is it this one? No. I think that. We've seen enough.
Aerith Saga has done some art for us, Bancroft. Do you want to? Should we have a look at that?
Let's do it. Yeah, it's all right. It needs a little bit of refinement, but it's not
45
far off.
seconds in Photoshop, he says.
Yeah, fair enough. I suppose. I just know how I know the brushes that they used in Illustrator to do it. It's pretty lazy. From Woe to Go.
Ray Rahu says teenage girls are reading manga. They won't drop that for this ever. Man, I agree with you. Manga is destroying comics at the moment. Arpul print stretch goal, Aerith Saga. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, it's crazy. I haven't seen Home and Away since Pippa was in it. That's gone back.
Pippa. Oh my God. Yeah, I gave up watching all that stuff a long time ago.
Isn't she the White House press secretary?
Oh yeah, it looks a bit like her as well. Have you seen her?
No, I haven't. You can bring her up.
I can't remember her name. I'll just type it in. White House press secretary.
Pippa from Lord of the Rings?
Oh, they're showing me the old one.
Chainsaw Man trailer is fire. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Will I get struck for playing this? A trailer? You're allowed to play trailers.
Yeah. That's her. Arpul O'Neill got a job in the White House. Owning the rhinos. What do you reckon? Who wore it better? Irene from Home and Away or White House press secretary Jen Psaki?
She looks dead inside. Look at her eyes. They don't look like they've seen.
This
a day
must
of
be a
happiness.
pretty hard job to just explain all the bullshit of an administration in a way that's palatable to the press.
Mate, this is why we are losing to Munger. They create something as simple as a guy that can make chainsaws come out of any part of his body, and it sounds so simple and sounds dope as hell. We can't compete with that. It's like
We can.
Mainstream are like, oh, let's just race swap this character and change his gender. Woohoo! I kind of want to see Bancroft, like, what would happen if we race swapped Storm?
Made her a white woman.
Yeah, change her to a white woman. Would the internet just like lose its mind?
It'd probably be a good idea actually for a sovereign artist to, they do those like the male heroes in feminine poses kind of thing. Or what if all these male heroes were women, or they were gay or something. So I'm sure people have done it, but I've not seen it. People doing the opposite, turning all these black iconic characters into white redhead gingers. It has the potential to go viral, but you're just going to cop so much shit. But Pablo,
it would be brutal.
Was it Pablo? No, who's the guy who does the covers for Magic Cop? He draws big boobied women, and nice one, Skip. He went viral with a Wonder Woman thing where she had really big boobs, and he went from a couple of maybe 1,000 Twitter followers to 10,000 almost overnight, because everyone started, like, they were writing articles about like some right-wing artist has over sexualized Wonder Woman, and the internet's going crazy kind of article. And yeah, he did really well off that, so it'd probably be worthwhile doing.
If you could handle the people coming after you, calling you a Nazi and a racist. I mean, if you could handle that, you'd be all right.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not doing it. I mean, I guess we're usually against token pandering race swapping, but if it's sort of like a ironic clapback and just a way of exploiting their own craziness to go viral, probably would be worthwhile doing. Richard B says, because we're not a-holes. Yeah. Well, this would be you would do it purely just to cynically try and grow your audience. Really, that would be the only reason you would do it.
Or team up with Don Chin and do a whole team of swaps. Could you imagine a whole team? They would lose their minds.
I would actually like to see it if it was done well. I think it would be interesting in a sort of, in a visual sense, what if kind of way. People are waiting for you to play the trailer, Rob.
Do they want me to play the trailer? Okay. Chainsaw Man. But doesn't just the concept of Chainsaw Man make you interested in it, Bancroft? It does to me.
I want to know what it's about. Yeah, it's very.
I'm like,
It's pretty crazy, but that's why like comic books should be a bit crazy.
yeah.
They should be a bit loopy. So this is like hasn't come out yet. This is brand new.
No. It's like sold out everywhere, apparently.
What do you mean sold out?
The books are sold out everywhere. You can't.
Oh,
get
the
them at
books
moment.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is an anime, obviously. I like how they're getting really serious with a story about a guy that can manifest chainsaws.
Is that it?
I didn't see
Yeah.
any chainsaws.
Yeah, you did. You're not
Did
paying.
I?
You're not paying attention.
Oh yeah, I see it. Right. Okay. Okay. There. Yeah, I did see it. I didn't know what I was looking at. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. I don't know if
Jose
I'd watch it, but
Jose Garcia just read all 97 chapters in one sitting while on vacation. Can't wait for the anime and the manga restock on Amazon. Is it good? Give us a rating out of 10, Jose. I want to hear how good it is. I'll send you my address, man. If you can send me a copy, for sure. It'll cost you like $40 to send it to you, but sure. Didn't see any blood. You weren't paying attention. I coomed. You guys hype that up way too much. I do that.
yeah, but Rob, your favorite thing ever is the Transformers cartoon and Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, Ninja Scroll is crazy good, and it offends me that you haven't seen it.
What offends you more? The fact that I haven't finished coloring your book yet, or that I haven't seen Ninja Scroll?
I don't know. Both. Have you guys heard of White Widow? It's a popular Kickstarter book.
It's not White Lily, is it?
White Widow. It's kind of like Spider-Man, but hot chick. White. It's by Jamie Tyndall. Have you heard of him?
Jamie Tyndall. I've heard of Tyndall the artist, but not Jamie Tyndall the comic book guy.
I don't know what my point is, but this is what I guess we're up to, what we're against. Like the bigger creators on Kickstarter, this is what they're doing. Or one of them anyway.
That's a lot of money for that amount of backers. I mean, scroll up.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 80 less backers. That's a lot of cash raised. I'm presuming that's American.
Yeah, it should be.
What are they putting in there?
Digital download, 82 backers, 76, 87, 160 at only $20.
That is pretty derivative, to say the least. I would not be surprised if they get a not so friendly message.
Man, Kickstarter's crazy.
A letter.
Look how many tiers there are. Like,
and it's all text too. Can you not put images on your tiers?
No, you can't. Not on Kickstarter. I think it's like one of their biggest drawbacks.
It's like the website Time Forgot.
1,750. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's basically female Spider-Man, but dressed in white.
Spider-Man and Venom.
Yeah. Similar level tiers, 169. I consider backing that if it was on IGG. Yeah, he draws really hot chicks. There's no doubt about it. Shane stream raid, awesome, cool, good to see Shane. Hope he launches Project Rex soon.
I think he is. Yeah, I think that's happening soon.
Jose Garcia says 8 to 9. Cool. That's another question, Bancroft. People always say don't launch, when one of the big guys are launching. What do you think about that, though? Like, we all got boosted from Ethan and Godlike. So wouldn't it make, like, if we were launching around the same time, is it really going to affect us?
I sandwiched the launch of the Lucent between Jawbreaker's Grand Bazaar and something else. I don't think it was as big as that, but it was something substantial. There was like a 4-day period between those two when no one was launching, and I think it helped me significantly. I would say if there's a massive launch going on, just don't do it on that day, because no one's going to care. I think what you really want is a whole day of everybody in CG who has a Twitter account or a YouTube channel talking about the fact that you just launched. And so if you do it at the same time as John or Ethan or Shane or Dan or whoever it may be, Billy, that's seems to be a bit silly. But around the same time, I think is fine because people are, like I said, there's this buzz.
This is crazy though. Like, and you see this on Kickstarter all the time. We'll get back to that in a sec. But there are just covers after covers.
Even doing
after covers,
homage covers to McFarlane Spider-Man.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, and in the webbing, that's like, man. All right, okay. I personally, not my thing. If I'm going to put in all the effort to put out a comic book, I want it to be my creation. Having an homage cover is cool, but having an homage cover of a character that is extraordinarily derivative of that character, where's this going for you? Like, what could it be? It'd be like me. I'm going to write a novel about Barry Potter.
Ugh.
the Aussie who goes to Hogwarts.
Oh, mate, did I tell you about when I used to work in the call center, like for True Energy? It's an energy company here in Australia, and some guy called up. This is like 15 years ago, so bear that in mind. This is. So anyway, he was like in his 40s or 50s, and do you know what his name was?
Harry Potter.
And I'm like, you poor bastard, you had a normal life your entire life, and then this movie comes out and book, and your life's all changed, and you get stupid people asking, are you named after Harry Potter? Despite the fact he's clearly came before.
No, it's not that. It would be like, what's your name? And you're like, Harry Potter. And they'd be, Expelliarmus or something.
Oh, and you'd be like, yeah. So you don't want to launch on the same day as Ethan or John or any of the big guys or anyone else, really. But within the same week? Do you reckon there's something in there?
I think that's fine. Yeah. Same week.
Do you reckon?
Like I said, I was sandwiched. I was pretty sure. I can't remember what the other book was, but it was Grand Bazaar, and there was just a lot of action going around. It was a busy week, a lot of buzz, a lot of people talking about new books.
And
I
like,
agree with Bancroft philosophically, but the guy's making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah,
There are a million easier ways to make $100,000 than a comic book. I mean, almost anything really.
especially
you
female
could be spending your time doing
and hot.
to make money. Like if you want to do this, you have to have a passion for it. It's one of the most draining, difficult ways to make money that I can think of. And I played poker for a living. Yeah, but good on them. I mean, I got nothing against them. It's just for me personally, I wouldn't want to put out the Teenage Mutant Ninja, I don't know, whatever's. What's a little green animal?
Tortoise.
Tortoises. There you go.
That would be hilarious. Richard B. has probably heard "You're a wizard, Harry" a million times, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd be right on the edge.
You're a wizard, Harry.
We had a really big dog, like 65 kilos, which is like 130 pounds. So massive. And the amount of times we heard, "Oh, he's a big dog," or is that a dog or a horse? It's like, yeah. I couldn't imagine how annoying that would be for that dude. Mobig says same week is fine. Jim Cox says no reason not to launch on the same day. That's interesting, George. I mean, Jim. Might as well call this arachnid bitch from Billy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Bogans or Ninja Bogans. And now the creator listens to all this and he's sad. Very good.
Why would he be sad? He's got a $100,000 campaign. I mean, the art is amazing.
He's really good at
obviously
drawing
got a
hot
lot of
chicks,
interest.
Man. Yeah.
It's not my thing, but hey, he's sexy girls, cool looking superhero. We know those covers sell because they sold originally, when they were first made. Yeah, Mo Big's right. Yeah, he's wiped all his tears for all that cash.
Mm-hmm.
If someone said to me, if I was listening to a stream and they said, "Oh, that Lucent book," I mean, yeah, it looks cool. It's just not my thing. I don't really dig the art or whatever. It's like, it is what it is.
Here's a question for chat and for you, Bancroft, but mainly chat because
they've heard enough of my yapping.
Well, yeah. Nudity in comics, yes or no? Just type it out. Yes or no? Do you want to see hot naked chicks in comics, or is that one step too far? What do you think, Bancroft?
I would not say hot. I'm not looking for nudity in my comics for any kind of titillation. It does nothing for me at all. But having said that, if you need, if the story calls for nudity in your comics, put nudity in your comics. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I wouldn't restrict it like that. I don't think we need to, go down the route of, these are for kids or anything like that. Yeah, but I'm like, oh man, look how hot she is. I need to see her naked kind of thing. No, nothing like that. But you've got some nudity in your comics, and it's, it's like, it makes sense within the story.
Tween evolved karate crickets.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
I'll read this one tomorrow, and then I'll get to chat. The Lucent looks cool, but I prefer books where the creator knows what they are about.
Well, I know what it's about.
Yeah, you say that, but do you? Do you?
Yes.
Jim Cox says, please. Do you mean please as in yes, please?
Yes, please.
Or please?
Nudity in the comics. Male nudity as well?
Or please as in please. No, thank you kind of please. You know that kind of please.
Jim Cox does not strike me as a guy who does a 13-year-old
please
head thing like that. Yeah, I've got one of my favorite comics that inspired the Lucent has a scene with a dude in the shower. and he does a top-down view, and there's right there his dongs hanging out.
What the? Okay. Yes. Depends. Yes. Depends. Yes and no. Wait, I sit on the fence, Antoine. We'll come back to that. No, yes. Not looking for it, but it's not unwelcome. Yes, only A, if it pertains to the story, or B, it's a comic that's meant as a fan service book. Don't really care, not forced it on kids. Yes, in Sin City, adult themed stories, but not in most cases. Aunt May, no. She-Hulk, yes. Although badly drawn naked women make me sad. Orangutan, no or hell no.
Orang-a-wang.
Oh, Orang-a-wang.
Oh.
Fiendish has nudity and works with a story like Bancroft is saying. Nudity depends on the book. Art of the Tease, mostly better to leave nudity to the imagination. That's the impression I got when I joined CG, I've got to say. I got that impression that people liked the idea of it, but didn't actually want to see it. I'm not looking for nudity, but if the story has nudity and it works tastefully, I'm okay with it. I backed Rob's book after seeing the naked chicks in the test tube. Cool.
There's naked chicks in the first issue, I think.
Artistic nudity is good. Comics needs more wieners. I could go either way.
There's a
with the
wiener
nudity.
in the Lucent, but you wouldn't be able to see it.
Pretty sure John has a wiener in one of his books, doesn't he?
It's on the Isham. The Isham guy is completely naked. Like the guy with the lava cracks and the sparks and everything. But it prints. On the page, it's so small, and there's lava, there's sparks everywhere. You wouldn't be able to make it out. But I drew it in there.
Yes, the nudity looks cool in something like Lady Death. Fits the theme of the thing. Godlike Romulus Saga, not doing okay.
Pretty good.
From Hell, then yes. If you're doing Cyberfrog, then no. George,
No, yeah, exactly. It's got to be right for the book.
I can't highlight chats now.
Certain real, books that evoke that, what was traditionally known of as a superhero comic, I wouldn't think so. Because it has the potential to kind of tear you out of the story, in my mind anyway, especially if it's a sex scene. If it's a sex scene, I think what John said is perfectly like that, silhouette them out, have a light behind them, maybe the light of the sky behind them, you're looking through a window or something, and don't that's just me though.
George literally popped into the chat as I asked if there should be nudity in comics.
George is a grown man. He's probably read comics with nudity in them. I'm sure he has a opinion on the matter.
Power Girl nudity, yes. If you have a cheesecake character, might as well take it there. I haven't heard that expression before, Bancroft.
Cheesecake character is, cheesy. Why is that difficult to define?
Because you're explaining it to me, and you have to put it in real basic terms.
Images portraying a woman in a manner which emphasizes idealized or stereotypical sexual attractiveness. There you go. I thought it was more zany, but clearly I don't know what I'm talking about.
Can you sign the ding dong in my copy of the Lucent, Michael?
It's too small. I need to get out my 0.3 Copic marker to get next to it. Not that the guy's dong is small. He's well hung. It's him on the panel is too small to be able to see it. Yeah,
Rob...
the language to me is more off-putting, especially that to me strikes me as a kind of SJW-ish kind of thing to do, to kind of look how cool we are. We swear a lot. I think it needs to fit the story. Otherwise, I had a lot more swearing in the unedited edition. I got rid of not all of it, but pretty much all of it.
Did you have proper Australian swearing, or
no? It was S word, a couple of F bombs, Nothing too egregious. But I was like, I don't know. I think Mike's story is more geared towards, almost like a young adult sort of age group. And it just felt weird.
Do you want to read that one, Bancroft?
It's too small. I need to get at my point. So,
I think you will get people that won't back though because of nudity if you have it in your book. I've had people reach out and say that they can't back it because there's nudity in it before.
Did you tell people there's nudity? Because I didn't know there was nudity in Replicator until I got it.
I did initially.
There you go. George likes Replicator. There's nudity in that book. So he's fine with it.
George has said before, as long as it fits the story, then it's okay.
Yeah, but I would never look at a character, a beautiful female character, fully clothed, and say, I'd love to see her naked. As in drawn naked. That's never happened to me. It never will. Rob's like that happens to me every time.
I'd like to say that hasn't happened to me before, but sure.
It's just a drawing.
Yes, I know. But art is beautiful, Bancroft. Is art not beautiful?
I like sculptures. If you're talking naked bodies, I like marble sculptures. I think that's beautiful.
That's just weird.
Why?
Because you'd touch the sculpture, wouldn't you? That'd be strange.
No, I wouldn't. I would appreciate the artistic.
You're going to be the one at the Melbourne Museum just going.
No, I've been to the Louvre like 5 times, and every time you go, you find new because it's so massive, and you can just find whole rooms full of these Greek and Roman sculptures, and you just get stuck there because it's crazy to think that people actually carved these things.
Can you read that one?
No, I'm not going to create a parody of Cash Grab about one of the pubic lice Cecil got from a stripper girlfriend trying to find its way back home and call it Cash Grab. Gash Grab. Oh, God. Sorry,
Mo, you're terrible.
Stepped on your joke, Mo, but that one threw me for a 6 there.
No, John says the Replicator touches sculptures confirmed. No, that's Bancroft. He just admitted to it.
If I was allowed, I probably would touch the sculpture, but not because I want to touch the boobs or anything. It would be because I would like to feel the marble. I think that would be kind of part of the experience, but I don't think you're allowed.
I've heard John say before that it's important to have a moment or a section or a part of the comic that stands out, blows your mind, gets stuck in the reader's mind. Do you agree with that? Have you thought about it? Is it something you've noticed before?
I haven't thought about that. You're saying like a moment or an image or
like for example,
or a
just something,
even?
something that makes you go, "Wow, holy moly!" I remember that. Like Graveyard Shift. I think it was at 1 where the baby,
the baby,
the
infamous
baby. Yeah. Like that is a grabbing moment.
Yeah, but with that, I didn't know about the baby before, and I since learned that it's this whole big thing. And I remember reading it, going, "Whoa, okay, like that." But I guess that's what you can do with comics. You can do that sort of stuff that you would never see anywhere else. You could read about it in a book, but reading isn't seeing. That's what's so cool about it. To me, usually it's the writing. Like it'll be some piece of just really beautiful writing. I always go back to that Captain America speech where he's talking about holding to what you know is true and not budging just because the consensus of the day tells you. And he says that you need to plant yourself, and
I fell. Sorry, what were you saying? I fell asleep.
it's a very iconic Captain America. I mean, I can't say it because whatever. I always remember that. So, someone writes something really beautiful, I usually will remember that. And it could, but it doesn't have to be beautiful. Like, it could just be a word like yes or no, but it's the way the pacing went and the beats of the story, and then with the art, it just all comes together in one big moment.
What about you guys in chat? And you too, George. I know you're in chat, so you're included. But do you remember moments from books that stand out? Is that what makes them stand out to you? The moments, or is it the whole thing? What is it? I'd like to know. Bancroft, are you going to try and get into Visions too? I'm going to try. I'm going to have a crack.
You're going to try and draw.
I am going to try and get Ghost into here. I don't know whether I will, but I want to get Ghost in there.
Is it you drawing it?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
I mean,
okay. I won't myself.
Let's say I don't really, know John like that well, but I know him pretty well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your art cuts the mustard.
Well, okay. Let's be real. I'd have to get someone else to do it.
Okay.
I would like to get someone to do Ghost because I reckon that would be cool. I'd really liked it. Let's see what. Oh, Mo with a clever one. Moments.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I pay attention to you?
It's a mystery.
Raw. I always pronounce
like Rorschach's speech in Watchmen. Yeah, it's some great lines.
The moments are generally going to be iconic images with the writing serving as the dressing around them. Yeah. Usually it's a splash page, but all the time. Bullseye put in the sigh through Elektra. Ella doesn't strike me as Vision's material. Oof. Rob and Bancroft together are a full comics experience. One looks at pretty pictures and the other one reads. It's so true.
With the original Odd Couple, that's how this works. I'm beginning to figure it out. There you go. It was, you're right, Jason Black. It was a Mark Twain quote. I'd forgotten about that. Read that, Rob. Read it and weep.
No, you read it.
Okay, this is Captain America, standing up for what he believes is right. He says, when the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move.
It's way too wordy.
Oh my God. It's like I get literal goosebumps. I get something in my stomach when I read something like that.
That's strange. For someone who has no emotions, that makes you emotional. Very weird.
I have emotions. I just don't have emotions for things that are time wasting.
The moments stand out when there's a big shocking event, like when a character dies, but mostly I remember the entire issue when the issue is good. It's very cool. The stories I find most memorable are the ones that made me feel something. I think it's important that you come away from reading experience having felt something, anything. Rob and Bancroft are both welcome. I'll be approaching people throughout the year. I'm going to have to find an absolute killer. Are you right, Bancroft? Do you need to take a break to get your printing done? My gosh, dude.
What, was that loud?
No, not at all.
I thought you said you couldn't hear it. All right,
I couldn't hear it before. I can hear it now.
I'll mute my my microphone next time. People want to know that I'm fulfilling.
Yeah, I mean, you could wait to the end of the stream. I mean, you've only got 26 minutes to go. You can do it.
Another one down.
I'm gonna have to hire a killer because I want to get Ghost in that book, man. So
Yeah,
I
how
don't
does
know.
it work? What is it? It's your character.
Your
in a s-
character
is it a
looking
swimsuit again?
sexy. Yeah, I don't know if it's swimsuit. It probably is. You probably need to find out from John if it's swimsuit or not. But your character looking sexy, with a background that relates to your story, I think is the general MO.
I'm not drawing another library, I can tell you.
Copy paste the one you've got.
No, I wouldn't do that to John.
If you guys do stuff for John, just make sure you don't show people beforehand. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like
The last thing anyone wants in Comicsgate is for John Mellon to load up one of his streams, one of his 30-minute ones, and have it be about you and him being angry. That's like being called into the principal's office in Comicsgate. Yeah,
John,
don't do that.
John, I've detected John likes anime. It says it right there, and
Yeah.
it says over 9,000. That is a Dragon Ball Z
But
reference.
you're saying he's a secret weeb.
I'm saying there is at least 1% weebery there. That's all I'm saying. Guys, give us another campaign to look up while we're here. We're just putting them up on the screen, having a look at stuff while we're talking.
John's answered the question there.
Not a swimsuit, just some sex appeal and anything you'd like in the background related to your book. There you go.
Dying Days of YouTube says, how about Ella with a wet t-shirt and a puddle? Ella would not do that. And I actually have a scene in the book where she is standing in the ocean wearing a white t-shirt. And I artistically declined to draw it realistically, because
So
if
no-
that was
no
realistic, she would essentially appear naked.
There's no nips, is what you're saying.
There's no nips, and the t-shirt does not stick to her. Like, I mean, you would be, if you had a white t-shirt on with nothing underneath it and you're a woman in the ocean, you would appear naked. And I just thought that's not really what the Lucent is.
This hurts me to read out loud. Replicator, I watched a movie that Michael Bancroft recommended called Kenny, and I loved it. I've actually
that
watched
makes
it
me
twice.
so happy, George.
It makes me
I'm
unhappy.
so happy you loved it. It really is one of my favorites, and it's such a great little insight into kind of Australian culture and the class system, and there's a whole father-son dynamic running under the whole thing, and on top of that, it is
Sounds fantastic.
Laugh out loud funny. The sayings he says, like I've known guys who have sayings and they say them like they're like everyone says these things, but they don't. He's the only one who says them. And read George's comment.
All right, can I read these other ones first?
Okay, sorry. I get excited about this movie.
Mel B's in the house. Rob Muerto's here. Good to see you. Norrin Rad as well. Dean's here. Good to see you, Dean. Scrolling down. I thought it was just supposed to be a comedy, but there are really some poignant moments as well. Really just a wonderful film.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can't believe you haven't seen Kenny.
I don't like movies that try to make me feel things.
Oh my God. You are not gonna like The Lucent. I have a strong feeling. You're like, what is all this
talking
like
and feelings? What is this
emotions
stuff?
And they're trying to make connections and
Rob. Oh, let me read this. Rob. Honestly. Is that right?
Even Dean knows Kenny is an Australian classic. You like The Castle, surely.
I mean, The Castle's all right, but let's not go on about it like it's the best thing since sliced bread, Bancroft. It's okay, but it's feelings are overrated. Entertain me, yeah. I've never cried on stream. I had some welling when I got the Kyle Ritter cover. That is it.
That's true. Yeah, we saw that. That happened. That's That's real. You know, you can be entertained and moved all at once. That's the next one on your list, George. Brilliant movie. Like, The Castle is Australia's sort of seminal film, and it was made. I mean, just watch it, please watch The Castle. Brilliant movie.
It is an Australian movie. It is very iconic. It has Eric Bana in it before Eric Bana was popular and famous. It's good. It is a good movie. KSSS, I don't like movies that try to make me feel things. Feelings are stupid. I agree. Rob, you cried when you shut down the Replicator 2 campaign. Lies. I don't remember this. Rob is CG's Kevin Smith. Someone time out that man right now.
No.
He's a mod.
Don't
He
start
can't be
that
timed out.
nonsense.
Did we get another campaign for me to look at, guys, while we're here? I want to hear what Mel's what her thing was. She just said Rob, honestly, but she didn't follow it up with anything.
No, that's her saying. Honestly, Rob. Honestly, you know. Like
Rob's starting to cry now. Tales from the Classroom. Yes. If someone got a link,
give that one. That one's great.
Someone give me a link. Someone give me a link.
You know what? You can Google it. Hold on.
I've got the screen open.
There it is. It's right there.
No, I can't get that. I'm gonna have to Google it.
It's like a kind of like an anthology, but it's like 3 stories in one. And it's all set around the the universe of the Tales from the Classroom. Rob is a great guy. He's employed super talented people to make this book with him, and everything about it is professionally presented. It's a really, like, all the graphic design, the art, everything, Rob doesn't really get around much on the stream, so he's not as well known as others. But say, who did this artwork here? What does that remind you of?
Mo says Rob Muerto is a great guy. You have to be specific in this case, Bancroft.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
It happens all the time. Everyone starts a story like, "Oh, Rob was such an inspiration to me," but they go, "Oh, Rob Liefeld," and then I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, so that's obviously that top image there. That part of the story is the Monster MD team.
Yeah, it looks exactly like it.
Well, it's the same team, it's the same artists.
Well, there you go,
doing it. And so he's got Cthulhu is the school, I believe. I think that's what he said.
Man, there's people love Cthulhu. There are like some really successful books based on Cthulhu.
Well, I don't know if this is based on that. I think it's just he has a lot of different monsters, and this kid, he's a zombie, and he's come from a school where everyone's zombies, and now he's gone to a place where no one's a zombie. So now he's the outsider. It's about his adventures. That's Matt Krotz. I think that's how you say his name. The Kiri guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit like an anthology in the sense that it's 3 stories in one. Yeah, I love the coloring on this one too. I love that muted green yellow palette he's got going.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. This is the thing. Like Rob's, the only thing missing with Rob is, he's not as well known. Even though this is his second campaign. He brought out the first one, and that went well, and fulfilled and everything. So there's no worries there.
Has he been on your show?
Yeah, he was on this week at some point. I mean, like 5-6 days ago. We had a good show. He's a great guest. He lives in Portugal, so
Oh, very cool.
There's time zone issues there.
Oh, Rob, what's your football team in Portugal? Let me know. Yeah, it's cool, man.
But yeah, no, look at the graphic design as well. You know, the logo and everything. It's all. He's got one of the best trailers too that I've seen in a long time. You know, it's properly animated and everything.
That's a great image. Great coloring too.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but like your eyes are drawn here, but it fades just a little bit. So it gives you that depth. It's very nice. Very cool. Yeah. And you can get on board for just $8 US. It's very cheap. Rob, play the trailer to KS. Really? Trailers? What do you think, Bancroft?
That's like a anime-ish kind of trailer.
Oh, that's the one I got sent the other day. That was pretty good. I think I've got it somewhere.
Well,
you've
he
got
put the link right there in the.
Yeah, but I can't get it from StreamYard, so I don't have YouTube open.
Sounds like a you problem.
Oh, it sounds like a help Rob out problem, but you know, I'm too busy printing off labels. I like how short it is.
Of course you do.
Stop playing, dude. I'm trying to share you. Being silly. You've got mail-in coming on Saturday, Friday for
Friday
US?
night before Camel Moon. Yeah, we'll do a fun stream. I might turn it into a bit of a celebration stream as well. It's Mo's birthday. I've got 900 backers. I'll probably be having a few drinks.
Nice.
You know,
you're going to crack open the 12-year-old?
I already cracked it open on the night of my birthday. So yeah, and we'll go through Godlike, because there's some elements to Godlike that are actually quite similar to the Lucent sort of premise that I'd really like to ask John about. It sounds like he's really big into ancient alien stuff. I'm not saying that's in the Lucent or anything. I'm just saying like that kind of, you know,
yeah,
conspiracy, like where did all these things come from kind of stuff. And
we were talking about that the other day. Like John's book is probably going to be like action and excitement based, and yours is going to be talking and.
No, there's some action. There's some action in the Lucent.
All right, I'm playing this. All right, ready, guys?
The cuts are a little quick for me.
Yeah.
But I can see the animation looks cool.
Friday, you'll go against Nerdrotic. Pick the right time. Do our audiences really cross over that much, though? Is the question.
And I've gone against everyone since I started streaming. Ethan, Jack Show, Nerdrotic. You can't worry about this stuff. You know, you got to build your own audience. You got to build your own show. It is what it is. This, you know, today I was up against Ethan. You know, I didn't have a controversial topic.
3 days in a row.
You know, we had no, I haven't streamed 3 days in a row. No, 3 streams in a row. Yes, Ethan's been streaming a lot because of, you know, Godlike and his toys. So yeah, 3 streams in a row we've been against Ethan. It's fine, you know. You just sometimes you have you know, sometimes I have 40 people watching, sometimes you get 80, sometimes you get 100. you know, it all just depends on if the topic is a hot topic or if it's you know, who else is streaming at the time. You can't I like to be regular. That's why I eat all brand. No, that's why, you know, I like to come on. I come on the same time every night that I'm on, 11 p.m. Eastern for an hour. Antoine says, always. Also, I had a black guest on tonight, so I could take the L. No,
Damn.
everyone loves Antoine.
He was the one good person on your show today.
Whatever, Rob. Whatever. Yet you still invite me on. So
yeah, I know. Here's a problem that we're all having right now, all the creators, it's the email sign up link. I was actually going to ask John about this when he was going to come on this week, but I don't know when he's going to come on. How do we get that so it gets to everyone who wants it? Because the way it's happening now is not working for everyone.
So yeah, these free sign up services, they all suffer from the same issue, which is when you blast out of the blue, which most of us are doing, you know, 600, 700, 1,000, who knows how many John had. You know, probably a couple thousand.
Yeah, like 2,000.
The email, what are they called? You know, Gmail, Hotmail, whatever you're using, Outlook. They don't like that, and they will flag it as spam. So if you go with, there you go, 2,300. Yeah, so you send out 2,300 emails out of the blue on a new platform, whether it's MailChimp or whatever. The whoever's receiving it, Gmail, will just go, no, this is a spam like thing. So if you go with a like if you're a professional company like the company I work for, you don't use these programs. You use professional level ones, and they're
like what?
Very expensive.
Like what?
So the people that we use at my work is called Dot Digital, and what they'll do is they'll do what's called a ramp up. So when you get a new list, you ramp up. You send out small numbers at a time, and you get higher and higher and higher. So, you know, the first day you'll send out 30, the next day you'll send out to the next 40, and then over a couple of weeks. And what happens is it allows the all these companies, Gmail or whatever, just sort of get to know you, that say that you're you know, you're not a spammer, essentially. And that's how you end up in people's actual inboxes. So I don't know if there's any you know, good way of getting into the email boxes, other than just, you know, asking people, please check your spam folders.
I'm somewhat confident in the fact that if you have a secret perk link, right, and the campaign's not live, if you send it to people, it will switch over when the campaign goes live. But I'm not 100% on that.
You send out a secret perk link to someone before it goes live.
It will work when the campaign actually goes live.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm not 100% sure, and it's not something you want to, like, you would need someone to actually know if that's true or not.
I mean, anyone who's working on a campaign right now could find out. They just create a secret perk and send it to someone, just one person, and see, hey, does this work?
Yeah, but would it work once it's gone live is the question too.
I don't see why not.
I
It should be pretty easy to test. Yeah.
Because I think that might be a way around it. Like if you send out that link the day before and go, you know, everyone, links going out now, send it out, you know, then they can check if they've got it, or if they don't have it, you can resend it. I don't know, but basically the thing is you want people to have that link like the first minute the campaign goes live, because you want them to back it. Like
yeah, but it's gonna be the same issue. It's gonna end up in their spam folder. So you're gonna have to do a big campaign to get people to go check their spam files, and some people just might not get it, depending on their settings. Like I've got, I mean, not that I changed them, but I've got sort of a promotional folder and a whatever folder. I don't really know, but my say for instance, my godlike email went to promotions, which I never
mine
go
too.
into. I never go in there. And that's because he sent out 2,300 emails in one blast on a new site. And I don't know if there's any way around that.
But
and I don't know how you would do a ramp up, because, you know, like you said, time is of the essence. You're trying to get people to have the link that first minute. John's giving you some stats there.
Is he?
Yeah, on what happened with his emails.
On Graveyard Shift, roughly 500 back secret tier, 2,100 signups. Also, occasional updates through the previous campaigns may help get past the spam filter.
There you go.
It's almost
that
like
would do it. That you could do that. Yeah, that would be a way to do it. So people sign up, and you just send them. You send it in small batches. So yeah, you break out of your whole list, you know, batches of 50 or 100 or whatever, and then you send out just to them, hey, thanks for signing up, it's coming thing or whatever, and then you send out another one to another list in small numbers until the whole list has had something sent out, and then you can start. Yeah, you could do that over a month or two in the build up, and I'm sure that would vastly improve your engagement numbers, and, you know, the getting through the spam filters and everything on the day. I didn't do the ramp up for the company that I work for, even though I do all the other emails. The company handled it. But yeah, I'm sure there's you know, videos on this sort of stuff on, you know, email marketing and how to get past the spam filters.
I wonder, like, if it has a big impact or not.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. A good 50% of my time in my job is dealing with email marketing. It's massive. And we have, I think, on the main list, like 50,000 emails, but you don't send to all of them at one time because it's just like overkill. You know, there's all sorts of things. So, but it's a huge part of our business, and I think this business specifically would really benefit from email marketing a lot. Like you get a good email list together. I mean, that's worth its weight in gold.
No one really does it, do they? Email
I think they do. I think they do. I think it's just like we're not really
good at it,
optimizing it. Yeah, I very rarely see people do a good HTML kind of graphic email. Some people do, but you got to know how to do that. So,
Mobig says Bancroft strips the blacks from his book, but not his show. He's sending out mixed dog whistles.
Oh right, Anton. Yeah, you've been through that.
Keep in mind you have all the people over the world, several time zones. Someone's will always get it first. Yeah, like you want the secret link, and you also want to be backer number one. I do. That's what I try and get, but I'm gonna wait for the secret link most of the time. So with Godlike, John was pretty close to right on time setting the list. I still ended up in the 250s for backer number, but the link did come.
That's one of the things I said to Eric Canetti it's good to not be the host on the show that you're launching on, because then you can do all these things, as the show's happening. You can handle issues or whatever. Because if you're trying to host and do this, forget about it.
Yeah, I know this is super boring, Sumo. I just think that there's probably a better way to do it, and I don't think anyone's really found it yet. That's the point. We're at 2 hours, Bancroft. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Adam says most creators can't be bothered to post an IGG update, let alone a regular mailing to their audience. That's funny.
Yeah, I know a lot of stuff about this, but I don't really utilize it all that much. So that's probably, something I can improve on going forward. But I guess, I'll have a much bigger mailing list moving forward now. Because I've got all the backers, and it's a balancing act, because you don't want to just spam people with crap. But no, I didn't have anything else.
All right.
Fulfillment's happening.
Let's wrap it up. The Lucent is fulfilling right now. Bancroft sent out my package in the mail today, so I might even have it tomorrow if our mail service isn't shit, which it is. So give that a back. Have a look at Godlike as well, and have a look at Tales from the Classroom. Rob Murdo. Give that a look as well. Someone will chuck the link in chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, people. We've gone past 530 subs now, I think. So we're getting more and more.
Hold on. Rob, you have a chance here to flex in your chat. Sumo Thori has left a comment. And he says, let's be realistic. You two aren't going to have to worry about having a 2,300 person mailing list. Do you want to flex? Because I know how many people you have on your mailing list.
It's like 3,000 and something on my mailing list.
There you go. So you can collect these things over time, and I guess there you go. That's an opportunity, because obviously you don't have 3,000 backers. That's a sort of a return on investment kind of thing.
It's true. I receive so little from signing up to mailing lists that I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah, I think that's a valid point too. Really good show, Rob. Great job. Thanks, Lord Ravner. It's good to actually be able to see you in the chat too. Thank you, George, for pointing that out. George, you missed it. Fulfil is correctly spelled in Australia and the UK and other places that are not America.
That's how we do it here. That's how we roll down under.
I'm sorry. Rob has a lot of Nigerian royalty in his mailing list. There's a lot in there, I'll say. People really missing the opportunities and complaining they're not getting enough attention. I think that's a valid point. It's fair as well. That's why you should pull up a site, put in money from all the creators, and have someone doing it for every campaign. Would that work? I don't know if it would. It's an interesting idea. I got dunked on by Rob. It's over for me. Chat. See you later.
I don't have anywhere near that many on my mailing list, Sumo Thori. So you were half right.
Facebook ads, I think, is a good idea. Some people have made it work. I don't. It's out of my wheelhouse. But Adam Lawson does really well with Facebook ads. If you know what you're doing, you can make it work. I know there are some Kickstarter campaigns, Bancroft, that spend like $5,000 on Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's probably got a lot to do with what you're selling and who your audience is and all that sort of thing. So,
all right, we're going to wrap it up there. Go out and back something. Tales from the Classroom, Godlike, or the Lucent, or even Replicator. They're your choices. Have a good one, guys. See you later.